I still remember the smell of Sunday roast drifting through our little house on Maple Street, garlic rosemary, the faint sweetness of caramelized onions. It was the one day a week when the world felt safe. My daughter, Lily, barely 5, would tug at my apron, begging to set the table with the fancy plates we saved for birthdays. That afternoon, the sun poured through the kitchen window like warm honey, and I hummed while carving the chicken. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. My brother Marcus had always been the storm cloud in our family sky. 10 years older, he carried resentment the way other people carry wallets close to the chest, ready to flash at a moment's notice. Mom used to say he was born angry, but I preferred to believe he was just lost. After our parents passed, I became the only tether he had left. I invited him every Sunday, set an extra place, folded his napkin into a little swan, the way Mom taught me. I told myself it was love. Maybe it was guilt. That particular Sunday, Marcus arrived late, boots thudding against the porch like he was stomping out a fire only he could see. Lily ran to greet him, arms open, curls bouncing. "Uncle Mark, I drew you a dragon." She thrust a crayon masterpiece toward him. He barely glanced down. "Put it away, kid. Grown-ups are talking." His voice scraped like gravel. I swallowed the sting and guided Lily back to her coloring books. "He's just tired, sweetheart." But the air already felt heavier, like a storm rolling in from the coast. We sat down to eat, me at the head, Lily to my right, Marcus across from us. The table glowed under the chandelier I'd saved 6 months to buy. Steam curled from the mashed potatoes. I passed the gravy boat with a smile that cost me something. "Extra crispy skin for you, Mark. Just how you like it," he grunted, sawing into the meat. Conversation limped along, Lily chattering about preschool, me asking about his new warehouse job. Then, out of nowhere, his fork froze midair. His eyes locked on Lily's plate. She had arranged her peas into a smiley face, the way I taught her. Marcus's lip curled. "Look at this," he muttered. "Princess gets the good china while I eat off plastic." I laughed it off. "It's the same plate, Mark. Lily just likes the flowers." But his gaze slid to me, sharp as the carving knife. "Always the favorite, huh, Emma? Mom's little angel. Even after you spread your legs for some deadbeat and popped out a..." The word never left his mouth. Instead, he gnawed a chicken bone clean, the crack of cartilage loud in the sudden silence. Lily's eyes went wide. I reached for her hand under the table. Marcus leaned forward, elbows on my carefully ironed tablecloth. "You're a bastard," he snarled, voice low and venomous. Then, with deliberate slowness, he spat the chewed bone onto Lily's plate. It landed with a wet thud among her peas, grease smearing the flowers. Time fractured. I heard Lily's tiny gasp, saw the bone glisten under the light, felt every heartbeat in my throat. My daughter stared at the mess, lower lip trembling. "Mommy." Uncle Mark threw up on my food. Something inside me snapped, not loud, not dramatic, but clean, like ice breaking on a winter pond. I stood so fast the chair scraped backward. "Get out." My voice didn't shake. It simply was. Marcus smirked, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. "Truth hurts, doesn't it? You think you're better than me because you play house." Lily started to cry, soft hiccuping sobs that tore at my ribs. I scooped her up, her little body trembling against mine. "It's okay, baby, Mommy's got you." Over her curls, I met my brother's eyes. "Leave now." He rose slowly, towering like he always had. "You'll regret this, Emma. Blood's thicker than your fake little family." The front door slammed behind him. The roast went cold. Lily fell asleep on the couch, clutching her dragon drawing. Tear stains on the paper scales. I sat in the dark kitchen, staring at the bone on her plate. It looked small suddenly, pathetic. But what I didn't know that day was how deep the roots of his hatred ran, or how far I'd go to protect the one person who called me mommy. Sleep never came that night. I scrubbed the table until my knuckles bled, but the grease stain bloomed like a bruise. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lily's face crumpling. I saw Marcus's sneer. Worst of all, I saw myself 22 and pregnant, standing in our childhood kitchen while he called me every name he could think of. Mom had hushed him. Dad had looked away. I'd promised myself I'd never let anyone speak to my daughter that way. Monday morning, I dropped Lily at preschool and drove to the warehouse where Marcus worked. The foreman, a kind-eyed man named Luis, let me wait in the break room. When Marcus walked in, coffee in hand, his face cycled through shock, then fury. "What the hell are you doing here?" I kept my voice level. "We need to talk." He laughed, bitter talk. "You threw me out like trash. You threw a bone on a child's plate." "She's not," he caught himself. jaw clenching. Whatever. Say your piece and leave. I stepped closer. Apologize to Lily. Mean it. Or we're done. For good. His eyes narrowed. You don't get to give ultimatums, Emma. You think I don't know what people say? That your kid's dad skipped town the second he heard pregnant? That mom cried herself to sleep, worrying about you. The words landed like punches, but I didn't flinch. Mom's gone. And Lily deserves better than your poison. He leaned in, breath sour with yesterday's beer. You want the truth. I hated you the day you were born. Perfect little Emma, stealing every scrap of attention. Then you go and get knocked up, and suddenly, I'm the villain for pointing it out. I felt the room tilt. All these years, I'd told myself he was hurting, that he lashed out because he missed mom. But this was older. Colder. I left. Without another word. The weeks that followed were a slow bleed. Marcus spread stories at family gatherings I'd stopped attending. Cousins texted condolences. Heard Emma banned Marcus from seeing Lily so sad. My inbox filled with childhood photos he'd dug up me at 6, gap-toothed and smiling. Captioned the day the princess arrived. Lily started having nightmares. She'd wake screaming about bones chasing her. I held her until dawn, whispering promises into her hair. One Thursday, I found an envelope slid under my door. Inside, a single chicken bone wrapped in a note. Blood remembers. No signature needed. That was the moment the shift happened. Pain calcified into something harder. I stopped crying in the shower. Stopped replaying mom's voice begging me to keep the family together. I started planning. I dug through old boxes in the attic: birth certificates, mom's will, the DNA test I'd taken when Lily's father denied paternity. Marcus had always mocked me for keeping sentimental junk. He had no idea how useful junk could be. I learned he'd been fired from the warehouse for stealing tools, that he was couch surfing, burning bridges faster than he could cross them, that he'd taken out loans in mom's name after she died, loans I'd never known about, because he'd intercepted the mail. Every discovery was a brick in the wall I built around my rage. Lily's preschool teacher pulled me aside. She drew a picture of a man throwing bones at a little girl, said it was her uncle. My daughter was internalizing his cruelty, turning it into monsters under her bed. That night, I sat Lily down with ice cream and her favorite dragon stuffy. Sweetheart, do you remember when Uncle Mark was mean? She nodded, eyes huge. He made my peas dirty. Would you like him to say sorry? She thought hard, tongue poking from her cheek. Only if he means it. Dragons don't like fake sorry. I kissed her forehead. Dragons are very wise. But apologies weren't enough anymore. I needed him to feel the weight of what he'd broken. Thanksgiving was always mom's favorite. Even after she passed, I kept the tradition: turkey, cranberry sauce from scratch, the same playlist of old jazz standards. This year, I sent Marcus an invitation. Handwritten, no explanation. He showed up at 3 p.m. sharp, hair combed, wearing the sweater mom knitted him in high school, the one with the reindeer that never quite lined up. He looked almost boyish, almost repentant. Lily peeked from behind my legs. Is Uncle Mark gonna throw bones? Marcus crouched eye level. No, kiddo. I brought you something. He pulled a small wooden dragon from his pocket, wings painted purple, her favorite color. Lily hesitated, then took it. Thank you. Polite, cautious. Dinner unfolded like a play I'd rehearsed in my head for weeks. I passed the gravy with a smile, asked about his job search, listened to his stories about starting fresh. The table sparkled under fairy lights. Lily chattered about kindergarten. Marcus, relaxed, shoulders dropping. Then came dessert. I set a covered dish in front of him. Mom's recipe. You always loved her bread pudding. He lifted the lid and froze. Nestled in the golden custard was a single chicken bone, cleaned and polished to a shine. The room went still. Jazz crooned in the background. Lily looked confused. Marcus's face drained of color. I leaned forward, voice soft. Remember Thanksgiving 3 years ago, when you told Aunt Linda I was living proof Dad wasn't faithful? How you laughed when she cried. His mouth opened, closed. Or the Christmas you showed up drunk and told Lily her daddy left because she was too much trouble. Lily's hand found mine under the table. I continued, calm as snowfall. I have receipts, Mark. The loans you forged. The texts you sent cousins calling my daughter a mistake. The police report from when you threatened Luis after he fired you. He shoved back from the table. You set me up. No. I said, you set yourself up every time you chose cruelty over family. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside, a printed email from the loan company, time-stamped that morning, acknowledging full repayment from an account in his name that I'd opened with the inheritance he never knew Mom left me. A second sheet, a restraining order. Signed and filed. Marcus stared at the bone, then at me. You think this fixes anything? It doesn't fix, I said. It ends. He stood so fast the chair toppled. For a moment, I thought he'd lunge. Instead, he looked at Lily. Really looked. She clutched her dragon, eyes steady. I'm sorry, he whispered. Not to me. To her. Then he walked out, the door closing with a soft click. Lily tugged my sleeve. Did the dragon scare him away? I laughed through sudden tears. Something like that, baby? The months after were quiet. Marcus moved 3 states away. The loans were paid. The stories stopped. Lily's nightmares faded. She started drawing dragons that breathed forgiveness instead of fire. Some nights, I still set an extra plate. Old habits. But I stopped folding the napkin into a swan. I learned that family isn't a debt you keep paying. It's a garden. Some branches bear fruit, others rot and need pruning. Cutting Marcus loose didn't make me cruel. It made me a mother, and if you're watching this, wondering whether to confront the person who hurt you, ask yourself what your silence is teaching the little ones who look to you for safety. Because love isn't endless tolerance. Sometimes love is a polished bone on a dessert plate, saying, enough. Lily's asleep now, dragon tucked under her chin. The house smells like vanilla and possibility, and for the first time in years, Sunday dinner is just for us.